Hello. So, what do we think? Going to move on to the next part of Sandman and the Turtles. Is Polly and Michael's plan going to work? Is Sergei Ivanovich Prokofiev going to return to his lighthouse? Will anyone ever believe Polly and Michael's story about how they brought the Sandman back to life? Shall we read the next part and find out? Here we go. They were all in the kitchen eating their supper by the time we got in. "You've been a long time," said Auntie Ellery. "We started without you." She wasn't angry. I've never seen Auntie Ellery angry. Never. "Wait, what have you two been up to?" said Uncle Rob. He shouldn't have asked. Polly told them everything. All about the ride on the turtles, about the lighting of the lamp in the lighthouse, the lot. She ran to the window. "Come and look," she said. "You can see for yourself." Barry sniggered into his tomato soup and made a mess on the table. Dadsy turned to look out of the window. "Well, I never," he said. "She's right, you know." And then Uncle Rob looked too. "And you lit that all by yourself," said Uncle Rob. "With Mikey," she said. "Mikey helped me, didn't you, Mikey?" I nodded. Barry leaned back in his chair and took one look out of the window. "That's the sunset," he scoffed. "The lighthouse always looks like that when there's a sunset. Next thing you know, old Sergei Ivanovich Prokofiev is going to walk right in here and ask for his tea and Welsh cakes." "You wait, Pedleg," said Polly fiercely. "You just wait." Barry turned to me as I sat down beside him. "So, you've been turtle surfing too, have you?" he said, licking the tomato soup off his lips and grinning. "Course he has," said Polly. "You tell him, Mikey." "Good fun it was," I said, and I smiled a smile that I hoped would keep everyone happy. But Barry was looking from Polly to me and back again. I could see he wasn't sure what to think. Supper was over and Polly demanded her stories as usual. She was careful to say please, and so she got her way. She sat on Dadsy's lap, her thumb down her throat and her finger up her nose. And she only took them out in order to interrupt. This she did frequently, telling everyone how the Sandman burped very loudly, how he was so strong he could pick up huge rocks as if they were beach balls, and how if Sergei Ivanovich Prokofiev looked anything like his picture, then he'd have a great big black beard and eyebrows that met in the middle. "And now I want the dragon story," she said. But by the time the spiky blood-red dragon came roaring out of his lair, breathing fire on the little people and frizzling them all to stone, she was fast asleep. Uncle Rob carried her up to bed, and when he came down again, he said to Dadsy, "From now on, I think she'd better tell you the stories. She talks about that Sandman just like she's met him." I looked down at my feet, because I didn't want anyone's eyes to catch mine. "It's what's called imagination," Auntie Ellery declared proudly. "Maybe she'll write books when she grows up." "She can hardly write her name," said Barry, and we went off to his room to play chess. I let him beat me. Who's better at chess, Barry or Michael? Can you remember? It was Michael, wasn't it? Barry's really sporty and Michael's really clever. I let him beat me, and that was quite a sacrifice, I can tell you. I don't like anyone beating me at chess. But I could tell he was fed up with being left on his own, and even more fed up with Polly and her stories. He needed cheering up. Every now and again, I'd steal a look out the window at the lighthouse, and every time I looked, the light was that much brighter in the darkening sky. And I wondered if anyone else would notice it. Uncle Rob came in to see us before he went off to bed. He'd been out checking his cows. He always did that last thing at night. "You two should be asleep," he said. And then he nodded towards the window. "Almost a full moon out there. If I didn't know better, you'd think there was a light in Polly's lighthouse. Only the moon winking in the glass, of course," he said. He went to the window, and then Dadsy was at the bedroom door with our hot chocolates, one in each hand. "To make you sleep," he said, and he put them down. "Here, Da," said Uncle Rob. "Take a look at this. The moon's in the lighthouse again." And Dadsy leaned out of the window and took a deep breath. "You're right," he said. Twinkling away she is. Nights like this, they make you think anything could happen. Anything at all." The hot chocolate didn't make us sleep. We lay there wide awake in the moonlit dark, but unlike the night before, Barry said very little. He was thinking. I could feel it. I could feel that he knew that I knew something more and was keeping it from him. More than once he sat up in bed and looked out at the lighthouse and then across at me. He was trying to puzzle it all out. Polly's story, all that stuff about the Sandman in the lighthouse, he said suddenly. She was having us on, wasn't she? Not exactly, I replied after a bit of thought. She just likes stories. She likes making them up, so they're true in a way, to her I mean. I wanted to tell him, but I dared not. I knew he wouldn't believe me, and I didn't want him to laugh at me. I didn't want him angry with me either. Maybe tomorrow, I thought. Yes, I'll tell him tomorrow. So they're not really true then, he said. Course not, peg-leg Dumbo, I said, and he hit me with a pillow. I was glad that he couldn't see my face. Outside in the farmyard, a cockerel crowed noisily at the moon. I did not like myself at all. I lay awake most of that night, promising myself that tomorrow I would tell everyone that Polly had not been telling stories. I would tell them no matter what, no matter how stupid it made me look. But come the morning, I'd changed my mind again and I decided I would take the easy way out. I would leave it to Sergei Ivanovich Prokofiev. After all, if he did come back, then they'd have to believe everything. The Sandman, the lighthouse, everything. What do you think? Is Michael doing the right thing by telling everybody that Polly is telling stories, or should Michael be brave and tell them the truth? What would you do if you were Michael? Write what you would do in the comments below for me. Love to see what you would do and what your thoughts are. Can you write it as if you were Michael? A bit of a challenge. Can you write it in first person? Just like Michael Morpurgo has in our book. Okay, I will be back tomorrow for another part of the story. Until then, be safe, be good, take care. Bye-bye.